plot of Macbeth, Act 4. Act 4 builds on the events of the first three acts and sets up the final climactic act. It opens with Macbeth visiting the witches who give him a fresh set of prophecies, to beware of Macduff, that no one born of a woman can harm Macbeth, and that he will not be defeated until Birnam Wood moves towards his castle in Dunsinane. Naturally, Macbeth is delighted with these prophecies, but demands that the witches tell him whether any of Banquo's descendants will become kings. In response, the witches show Macbeth a long line of kings who all trace their ancestry back to Banquo. They then vanish, leaving Macbeth alone, just as Lennox arrives to inform him that Macduff has fled to England. Macbeth swears he will punish Macduff's family, who are still in Scotland. The very next scene shows this, as a gang of murderers mercilessly kill Lady Macduff and her children. Meanwhile, in the third scene, in England, Malcolm, Duncan's eldest son and true King of Scotland, is with Macduff. Malcolm is unsure where Macduff's loyalties lie, and tests him by pretending that he would make a terrible ruler of Scotland. Macduff is aghast and rebukes Malcolm, but this reassures Malcolm that Macduff is sincere and that he really does hate Macbeth. Ross then enters to break the terrible news to Macduff of his family's slaughter. A distraught Macduff swears revenge, and Malcolm promises him that he will have it when his Anglo-Scottish army invades Scotland to take back the crown. Compared to the first three acts, there is greater variation in terms of character and settings. Macbeth is only present in the first scene, although his shadow hangs over the whole act, and there's no sign of Lady Macbeth. Instead, we are given more details about the Macduffs, and also an insight into Malcolm, fleshing them out as characters ready for Act 5. We begin, though, with the assertion of the supernatural as the key idea in the play. This time, Macbeth is seeking the witches rather than the other way round, highlighting his dependency on them. He takes their prophecies at face value and is convinced that he is now invincible. However, he overreaches and demands to know about Banquo's issue, i.e. descendants. Even the witches warn him to seek to know no more, which is probably designed to make Macbeth even more curious and determined to know. Chillingly, Macbeth doesn't stop to think things through and orders Macduff's family's deaths. He will now act as he pleases without fear of consequence. He is a long way from the heroic figure we first heard about back in Act 1. By shifting the focus onto the Macduffs in scenes 2 and 3, Shakespeare humanises the victims of Macbeth's bloody rule. The Macduff family murder is different from the other murders, as they are non-political. Death and murder were part and parcel of politics of the time, but women and children were supposed to be safe in such events. Their savage killing is a sign of Macbeth's depravity. Dramatic irony is used to tense effect in the third scene, as Macduff is unaware of what has just happened to his wife and children. At first, an agonized Ross can't bring himself to tell Macduff what has happened, but once the truth is out, Macduff's reaction is a heartbreaking moment in a play full of despair and horror. Elsewhere, Malcolm's testing of Macduff suggests that he is a shrewd, cautious individual who, in contrast to Macbeth's impetuosity, acts when the moment is ready. With this, he indicates his wisdom and qualities of leadership, presenting him as someone ready for kingship. Significantly, the final lines of the scene and act are given to Malcolm, who raises a note of hope by declaring that he is ready to return to Scotland and take back what is rightfully his.